Welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking about the internet computer super stakers and why I believe the super staker ecosystem is actually really extraordinary compared to the other crypto ecosystems where we have staking. Because from an investor and analyst point of view, we want to understand the tokenomics behind the internet computer or any crypto that we're looking at. We also want to understand the tokenomics behind the staking ecosystem, because in certain ecosystems, like what we're going to be talking about today in internet computer, they actually have what's called a staking lockup period or a staking vesting period. And basically for that time frame which you set or the system will set, your coins are then locked in the staking mechanism for that certain amount of time, and you continue to earn or accrue rewards during that time frame and also help secure the network. But the real big conversation in crypto right now is liquid staking. We have many other ecosystems, including Ethereum, which just upgraded in 2023 through the Shanghai hard fork, which allowed withdrawals from the Ethereum staking ecosystem. Before that, you could only stake, but you couldn't pull your coins back out. And now we have liquid staking, which allows you to essentially wrap your coin in a staking contract, and then they give you a derivative that then you can go use in other ecosystems or bridge to other blockchains or use in DeFi or do whatever you want with. But in the internet computer ecosystem, we have what I like to call super stakers. Now, I know they like to describe themselves as other things, but bottom line is internet computer is at the point where it needs to get institutional usage and institutional adoption. And to get the institutional usage and interest in these ecosystems, they need to have verbiage that they can relate to and that they can really hold dear to their investment thesis and strategy. And that's why I believe calling the long time staking holders as super stakers, because this is obviously a very positive and friendly kind of, I guess, category for these stakers. And in the internet computer ecosystem specifically, you can lock your coins for a period of anywhere from 6 months to 8 years, 96-month staking. Now, while I personally would not do this, the people and the holders that they are helping the internet computer ecosystem move forward in many different ways. And from an investor perspective, they're doing it in a way that kind of locks up a certain amount of the supply, which artificially decreases the overall liquidity in the internet computer ecosystem for that period of time, which in my view, from an analyst and an investor standpoint, helps the price move higher. And so that's what we're going to be discussing in today's video. We're going to talk about the benefits, the concerns, and what I'm doing. Don't forget to give this video a free thumbs up if you're not already subscribed. 50% of our viewers are not even subscribed. We upload every single day since 2018 to bring you the latest happening in the financial world. I try to give you guys my neutral and unbiased opinion on what is going on in these crypto markets. And today we're talking about internet computers. So what does this mean? So the ICP ecosystem has very different verbiage from a lot of the rest of crypto. So they don't necessarily call it staking, they call it neuron and governance, but essentially neurons, you can think of it as a part of the staking ecosystem. ICP utility token holders can stake their ICP within the neurons in the network nervous system. That is the core of the internet computer, to engage in network governance and earn voting rewards for their participation. Neurons are what's called not dissolving by default. So in order to unlock or withdraw the tokens, you as the token holder must completely dissolve the neuron. The period of time of which this occurs is called the dissolve delay. So token holders can increase a dissolve delay at any time, but neurons always dissolve in real time. So you can effectively stake your coin for 6 months and then say, you know what, I'm gonna stake it for 2 years. And you can change it. Once you change it, it's locked in, right? And it will dissolve in real time, meaning that's your lockup period. And so why would somebody lock up their coins for this period of time? Granted, some of it is they believe in it, they want to have a retirement plan and financial, but a lot of it also has to do with the governance of internet computer, right? And so in the actual documents of the internet computer ecosystem, where you can learn about the ecosystem, read the code, and basically the thought process behind all of these different concepts. So, to understand, to become vested and obtain voting power, internet computer tokens must first be staked and then locked for a length of time greater than 6 months to at most 8 years. So, effectively, if you want voting power in internet computer, you have to lock your coins minimum 6 months to 8 years. Just as tokens are held in a user's account, stake is held in a special account called a neuron. Each neuron has its own identifier and several attributes relating to their stake. These include the length of time it's locked for or the dissolve delay, whether it is currently dissolving, and how much reward it has accrued as a result of voting on proposals or the maturity. Once a neuron is locked for more than 6 months, it gains the ability to both submit proposals and also vote on them. Voting, in turn, generates voting rewards based on how active a neuron is in voting on proposals. If you vote on every proposal, you gain the maximum reward. A neuron can also follow other neurons, which causes it to automatically vote the same as a majority of the neurons that it follows. And so the voting power of a locked neuron is determined by several factors, principally by its stake. One ICP equals one power of one vote. Next, by its lockup duration or dissolve delay. 6 months grants a 1.06x voting power bonus, and 8-year or 96-month staking grants you 2x. All of the durations are linearly between. So effectively, somebody with 100 ICP, if they are staking for 8 years, they actually have the voting power of double that, which is huge. And it shows that ICP is not just thinking about the whales, but it's also thinking about the what do they call that, shrimp or guppies, right? It's the smaller people, the smaller holders that could increase, but again, you have to hold for 8 years, stake for 8 years. This is a risk in my view. And we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. Lastly, the voting power is determined by age or length of time that spent locked in without dissolving. 4 years grants 1.25 bonus, and so on and so forth. This means the maximum voting power of 2.5 votes per ICP staked is only achievable by locking up your neurons for 8 years and leaving it in the locked state for up to 4. At that time, you'll have the most voting power for your stake committed. So that's a kind of a general understanding of how the voting power works versus what you're staking or what you're dissolving. And then the maturity. The maturity of a neuron increases as it collects voting rewards. Each day, the network rewards participants by allocating every voting neuron a portion of the total reward based on its voting power at the time of the proposals were made and the number of proposals it voted on. For those who wish to compound gained maturity in their neuron, the most natural activity is to stake maturity on a regular basis. If you wish to liquidate maturity gained, you can use it to produce liquid ICP. And so why does staking matter? Well, staking is a way of allowing those who support the internet computer to decide what happens with the platform next. With the internet computer first launch, all proposals required a majority vote to pass. Gradually, this is changing. After an update, it is now possible for proposals to pass with only a majority among 3% of the total voting power, meaning that proposals stand a chance even if large entities abstain or the majority of the network does not vote. So voting rewards, obviously, you want to earn rewards for staking your coin. You don't want to just stake your coins and not earn anything, right? And so again, you can already kind of tell that internet computer does staking a little bit differently, right? The concept is the same. And you don't have to have any lockup period to stake your coin. You can stake for under 6 months, and there's a large majority of the coin that are already being staked for 0 to 6 months, 27. Well, where are we now? We're at 12 and sorry. I think you guys can see that on screen. 0 to 6 months is 12.69 million ICP. And then you can see at the 6 to 12, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, these have pretty large quantities of ICP as well, but you can see the 8-year. I think you can see that. You can't. I have to pull the logo down. Hold on. So if you see here, the 8-year stake is 130, almost 137 million ICP. At the current price of around $10, that's like $1.3 billion locked in staking. And so this is, this is a lot of stake that's already locked in for a very long period of time. Now you have to ask yourself, like, what is right for you? Well, voting rewards are an important aspect of the neurons and can be compounded to increase your total voting power. So they have long-term voting rewards over the years, and they have the formula. We're not really going to go through the formula on today's video, but you can see the reward function in the circulation screen on the dashboard, on the ICP dashboard. You can see it right here. Voting rewards function. This chart shows the theoretical annualized inflation rate provided to governance participants. Remember, when they're inflating the currency, the inflated coins have to go somewhere. Well, they're going to the people who are staking and voting, right? And so based on the rewards configuration approved by governance body, currently, theoretical inflation is scheduled to decrease to 5% within the first 8 years after the genesis using a quadratic formula. So they're saying 8 years. So once the first super stakers have fully matured into the 8-year mark, which is going to be about 2029, right at the end of the next Bitcoin bull cycle, it's going to be at 5%. So we're at 7% right now and trending down to 5%. And so where does this kind of relate to the other ecosystems of crypto? Well, if you go to proof of stake ecosystems and stakingrewards.com, just looking at the top 10 by market cap in terms of staked market cap, you can see that Ethereum is 3.5%, Solana has 7.3%, Binance under almost 2%, Cardano under 3%, Sui 3.5%, Avalanche 8.4%, Aptos 7%, Celestia 11.6%, Polkadot 11.8%, and Tron 4%. And then you see the Internet Computer is right here because it has a very large amount of stake, but Staking Rewards website they don't really know what you're actually making. They don't really know all the data behind the Internet Computer staking ecosystem. And I think that a lot of this has to do just with education, right, from the Dfinity team and from the community, helping create educational content like what you're watching today. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. That way you never miss a new video right here. And also give the video a free thumbs up. We're not done. We got a lot more in today's video, but while we're in the middle of the video, at least give the video a thumbs up. I appreciate all of the support. And so there's a lot more that still has to go on in Internet Computer to build the ecosystem, to build the community, to build partnerships. But based on the lack of complexity and understanding what all of this means, right? Granted, there is some complexity understanding neurons and the maturity and what the staking governance is and all of that. I get it. This is not for definitely a brand new person into crypto. But if you've been in crypto and understand the basics, most of this is probably way easier to understand than other crypto ecosystems, and understanding how your stake has a say in the ecosystem, how your stake has a vote. And we understand this very clearly in Internet Computer. And not only that, but it's baked into the code that the people who truly believe in the ecosystem, and I would imagine these people are also not just financially invested, but hopefully invested in other ways, meaning maybe building on the blockchain or building businesses for the Internet Computer ecosystem. And so they're fully vested in it. They believe in it. And the fact that we have so many super stakers in ICP gives me so much hope and so much belief that this is going to be good, right? Granted, it's come down over the course of time, right? Some people probably unstaked and probably said, "Nah, it's making me a little nervous," especially after all of the manipulation that we saw in the price action of Internet Computer after it first launched. But I think over this coming cycle, the more people are educated on how Internet Computer works, on how the metrics are so clear and really just continuing to grow before we even have institutional adoption and all of that. And also them understanding the belief people have in this ecosystem to grow just by locking their coins for a certain amount of time and becoming an Internet Computer super staker. These are very big indicators, in my view, to understand where the future is going for these ecosystems. So diving a little bit deeper, neuron lifecycle, right? Because remember, when you're staking in a neuron that then dissolves. And when it dissolves, then you get your coin back and you get the rewards. So we have to understand this life cycle. So effectively, a neuron is a type of asset managed by the Internet Computer governance canister. Neurons allow their controllers to participate in the governance of the network by submitting and voting on proposals. So, what is the dissolve delay? This is how long it will take a neuron to become liquid once it starts dissolving, right? That's the lockup period of your staking neuron. If the neuron is already dissolving, the delay indicates the amount of time left before the neuron transitions to the dissolved state. The dissolved delay of a newly created neuron is zero. Only neurons with a dissolved delay of at least this many seconds or 6 months can be used to vote on proposals. The exact delay requirements are subject to change. Once set, the dissolved delay cannot be reduced via management commands. But as we learned earlier, it can be increased. So they talk about here about non-dissolving, which is a neuron which has a fixed dissolve delay and accrues age. This is the default state of a newly created neuron. Dissolving, neurons dissolve delay is decreasing with the passage of time. Once the dissolve delay becomes zero, the neuron transitions to the dissolved state, and the staked ICP can be dispersed or collected. Dissolved. Neuron's dissolve delay is zero. The neuron holder is free to either disperse or stake ICP to increase the dissolve delay, which will cause the transition from the dissolved state to a non-dissolving state. And then they talk about the age and the maturity and then the voting power, which we already talked about. Once a proposal is accepted, all of the neurons that voted on that proposal receive a reward in a form of maturity increase. The governance canister distributes rewards daily. The rewards are proportional to the voting power. And so this is like the most general understanding of what staking in internet computer is, why people are super stakers, why they choose to lock their coins for such a long period of time and not be able to sell it, not be able to move it, not be able to use it for anything else. Will this change in the future to a liquid staking ecosystem? Possibly. I mean, I don't see why the canister smart contract ecosystem would not be capable of creating an environment like that. But I'm sure that we'll probably have to wait and see, right? The long-term kind of view on this and the benefits is that you're kind of locked in and you're part of the ecosystem. And this hopefully would incentivize most of these super stakers to put their time, money, and energy into helping create more products and dashboards and consumer-facing products that utilize the internet computer on the back end. Because at the end of the day, our economy, the capitalist society of the world, is money incentive-based. So that's why I believe that this is a very good metric to keep an eye on, because it says that people still believe in the ecosystem and that they're putting their money where their mouth is, right? And this is not just ICP insiders or early developers. This is also everyday users. This is just ordinary people who are putting this coin into the ecosystem because they believe that this is going to change their future and give them a different level of wealth or hope or retirement that they may not have had before. That doesn't guarantee that internet computer is going to continue to advance and do well. It doesn't guarantee that, but it gives a little bit of an indicator, right? Almost 50% of the total supply is locked in the staking ecosystem, and most of that for very long periods of time. This is a metric that shows belief in the ecosystem, money where their mouth is, and not just staking, but also participating in governance, because participating in governance, you also get rewarded as well. And so it incentivizes growth of the ecosystem. It incentivizes a lot of different ideas to come forward and either agree or disagree with proposals for changes to the ecosystem. And yeah, I mean, this is what I'm excited about. Now, the question you guys are probably asking is, Cryptoviser, are you going to stake your crypto? Generally speaking, probably not. And the reason is only because I look at these markets from an investor standpoint. And I believe, granted, yes, I do want to be in a high belief ecosystem, but I don't want to not have liquid assets. This is one thing that we talk about with real estate as well. You know, a lot of people say real estate is the ultimate investment. I don't necessarily agree with that. There's high overhead just for owning the property, and then it's not liquid, right? Even a stock is liquid, but crypto is even more liquid because it's 24/7 trading, never stops. In the stock market, you could have a really good Friday, and then by Monday, you lose 50% of the valuation, and there's nothing you can do. And so that's the only concern that I have from a staking perspective, that it's not liquid. But that may change. And I don't think that's going to make a big difference in the grand scheme, because I'm just one person. And even if I were to stake when I do hold ICP, it wouldn't even make a dent, right? It wouldn't even make a dent. This is a multi-billion-dollar asset, right? And so, yeah, that's my kind of viewpoint on it. But to the super stakers who do watch my videos, guys, super staker, this is how you're going to get the recognition that you deserve for believing so much in ICP that it's going to work out, that you're willing to lock your coins for 8 years and ride the wave. Because you guys know crypto is very volatile. And many people would not be able to do that just from an emotional standpoint. They'd be looking at the charts and saying, "Oh my God, we're going to zero. I can't even move my coins." And then we go back up, and they're saying, "Oh my God, we're going to $1 billion and can't move my coins either." So it's a tough position to be in. But I want to know what you guys are doing down below. Are you going to be staking? Are you not going to be staking? Are you going to be staking for a long term or not for a long term? Let me know down below. Don't forget to give the video a free thumbs up. Check out my other videos on this channel. Also hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and crypto on.